where consistently it's a battleground state. It's going to get fought. It's going to get tighter. There's no question. It's a state that Trump won, not comfortably, but won clearly back in 2016. But the signs have been increasingly, those polls have been widening and in Biden's favor. And it's a state where the Biden team has felt more comfortable of late than they ever expected to feel at this state of the race.
All right. I was just being told by Alex the Cunningham lead is 9 points over Tillis. I thought I saw on the graphic 48 to 43. The graphic was wrong. OK, so 48-43 was in March, and sometimes, in July we just show March polls just because. So it is not. It's again, I want to make sure it's a 9-point lead, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
50 to 41. Okay, thanks so much.
All right.
So Jonathan Lemire, we ask the question every week. The president this week losing in every battleground state other than Ohio. Ohio's tied, making matters worse. Texas, over the past several months, has become a battleground state. Georgia has become a battleground state. The White House never expected Arizona 6 months ago to become a battleground state. Instead, they were talking about winning New Mexico and Minnesota, which in a poll last week, they were getting routed by double digits. So here we are, moving toward the end of July, early voting beginning. We're 5 weeks away, maybe, in some places for early voting. What's the White House thinking? What's the Trump campaign thinking? How do they turn this around?
Well, Joe, you and I have been beating the drum on the early voting for a while now, and those close to the president know that's an issue, too, that there are going to be people who are going to be voting in just 5 or 6 weeks, and they're running out of time before that moment to change some of the momentum and the narrative of this race. As you say, they're playing defense in a lot of places they didn't expect. The president's going to go there later this week on Wednesday for a political event, some fundraising and economic development. He, of course, is traveling to North Carolina today. They didn't anticipate to have to play as hard as they're going to in Georgia and Ohio. And they know they're down across the map. Now, on Friday, Bill Stepien, the president's campaign manager, did a private briefing for reporters and went through some of these polls. There's an acknowledgement that the president is down, but they're saying that the margins are ones they can overcome. They, as they are wont to do, they cast a lot of doubt on these public polling, thinking that it undersamples Republicans. They also think that there are a number of people who are going to back the president in November who simply aren't being picked up on these polls because they're either perhaps not acknowledging that they're going to vote for Donald Trump in a poll, or simply they're not ones who are usually on the screens of pollsters. And I will say, in 2016, there was some element of truth to that. We kept hearing the president say on and on. There was this silent majority, these hidden voters. There was some skepticism to that idea, but at these rallies, and I covered more than 100 of them that year, there were lots of people who were in the building to see the president who would tell me and other reporters, hey, I haven't voted in 4, 8, 16, 20 years. I've never talked to a pollster in my life. I'm going to vote for this guy. But that's a risky bet now to expect that there's so many more of those people now who will come out this time, which is why there is growing alarm about the lack of time and the need for, frankly, what we could call an October surprise. And they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket, Joe, of a vaccine. That's why the president's going to North Carolina today. We expect to see a lot of announcements and hype about each incremental step in the development of a vaccine, which, of course, would be great for everyone. But the president believes that it's key now to his political future, that if they can say before November, if they can say that a vaccine has been developed or is even close, even if it can't be distributed yet, but if they can give the idea of hope, they think that could be very powerful. It could change late in the game, change some of the momentum, which right now is all working against them.